Hi, I'm Tony Esqueda from Yamaha. Welcome again to another Tech Talk session here at the NAMM show in Anaheim, California 2020. And we're here at the Yamaha area. Right here I have a Yamaha CP88 stage piano. And what we're going to talk about during my time here is the new operating system that has just been released for the CP88 and CP73, which is the version 1.3. Some of you that have a CP may not have ever updated your keyboard, so I want to emphasize how important it is that you always update your keyboard, because we keep adding more features, we keep adding more things as we hear from customers, as we talk about what we want to achieve with the instrument, and so the instrument just keeps getting better and better every time we try to update the instrument and try to do new things with it. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. I'm going to talk a little bit about just some features that I think some people miss that are very innovative in the stage piano and the CP73 and CP88. So let's get started with a few things. 1.3 operating system. This adds a couple very key things that if you don't have it, you're really going to want it. And one of them is we've added yet another grand piano. Okay, so if you think about it, in the actual CP73, CP88, currently, if you've been updated up to 1.2, you had a total of a CFX grand piano, you have a Bosendorfer Imperial grand piano, you have a Yamaha S700 handcrafted grand piano, and you also have a Yamaha C7 grand piano, one of our most popular selling grands. Now, this is great, and I know a lot of you out there, I'm wondering, well, how many of you actually have 5 grand pianos sitting around your house? Maybe a few of you do. I would imagine most of you don't. So we thought we would give you yet one more grand piano, and what has been added is the CF3 piano. This is a fantastic sounding grand piano. Really big in the bottom end here. But this was a very, very popular piano because this was also a piano that was the primary piano featured in one of our other very popular stage pianos, the CP300. So this is the CF3. It's got, and just to give you a little bit of a comparison here, here's what the overall range sounds like in a CFX. And then when you listen to a Bosendorfer, right? It's very different. By the time you get to the CF3, very, very different. It's got some punch in the bottom end, but it's very warm. And it also pops. But then the softs, so another great, great grand piano to have in your piano arsenal, and that is available when you update to 1.3. Now, one of the other really great features for a live player is to be able to control your EQ, just the overall tonal color of what's going on in your CP. And of course, we have an equalizer over here you can turn on and off with this switch. But with the 1.3 version upgrade, this EQ is now stored with every one of your live sets. So that way you can have a completely different EQ palette for every one of your live set scenarios that you call up in your CP. It's another really important thing. In addition to the CF3 sound in 1.3, the other thing that's really, really great is we keep adding more electric piano sounds, as if you don't have enough, right? But electric pianos changed very, is a very subtle thing, but the character of the pianos changed as years went on through the late 60s, through the 70s, and so on, and every one of them has a different character. So if you'll explore here with me, I actually have, we have a 78 RD, here, I touched a button here. 78 RD, funky. When you go all the way past the 67 RD, there's brights and darks. But you'll see there is now, with 1.3, a 73 RD Studio, which has a very different sound. If we go back and listen to one of the original ones here, let's turn the effects off. And you go from a 1978, let's just take a journey back in time here, and let's see what it would sound like if it was in the studio in 73. You see that the bottom end, the little rumbling in there from the tines is very different. And up here, the bell-like quality of it is very, very different than it is from So there's a 73, and there is also a 74, which is one. Compared to the 73. You hear the stuff moving inside the electric piano and so on. So these are some of the great additions. And so, of course, adding these sounds, we've added some settings so that you can hear them in a particular setting scenario. So we've added 8 more live sets to the 1.3 version as well. Now, one thing I really want to talk about that I think a lot of people miss in the CP, and it's because there's so many things to go through, there's so many great sounds, that this is actually, it's not a hidden feature, it's an advanced feature because it's called advanced mode. And so in the CP, we actually have these 3 blocks, right? The piano block, the electric piano block, and of course we have the sub block, which gives us pads, strings, organs, chromatic percussion, all of these different things. Well, suppose you really like 2 sounds that are in the sub block, or 3 sounds, or you want to take something from one block and use more than one. There's a special mode for this. So if I were to play each one of these right now and had piano, electric piano, and a pad, you may be wondering, well then, what if I want 2 sounds from this? How do I do that? You only can call up 1 sound at a time. So there's a mode inside the CP. If you go to the settings, and you go to a place that says Advanced Mode SW or Advanced Mode Switch. Once you activate this, you can choose if each one of these blocks can be in advanced mode. And by going into advanced mode, let's say that, you know what, I really like the bass sounds or the lead sounds or something out of the sub block. I don't want to play any piano or electric piano. I just want to stack sounds from this block. If I were to turn on the advanced mode in the sub block to on, now what I can do is, let's just go and we'll turn them on in all of the blocks here. So I have advanced mode in piano, in electric piano, and in the synth. And so now you'll notice that all the lights went off in my different screens, which means it's not just accessing things in that block, but in all the blocks. So if I go back out here to the menu, I can actually go in the piano block, and if I go far enough, all of a sudden I can see the electric pianos, harpsichord, DX7, and as I get further on into it here, I want to go in and create a really cool lead sound or a really cool, let's stack some things here. Let's say that what I want to do is I want to take lead sound 2 in the piano, and then over here in the electric piano block, I'm going to go all the way back here, and I'm going to find myself another lead sound. In this case, let's say that it's, let's go Funky Mini. So here is the lead sound by itself. Here's the Funky Mini, and of course I have balance between all these 3. And then over here in this block, let's see what I got. Pad, I don't want a pad. Let's go further in here, and I'm going to stack that with something that's not in the block. I'll have the clavinet, or let's just go back here. We'll go back to this one, and I'm going to pull up, oh, that's good, jazz flute, which comes from there. Has a little chiff on it, and we'll give it a lot more volume. So all 3 of these sounds are from this block, but I'm playing them through all 3 blocks. And so all of that very non-piano sound is coming from the CP here because I just pulled all the sounds from this block. The other nice thing about this is that if I would like to take something from this block and I just really wish there was a more like a fuzzy distortion and that's not here, I can actually use the distortion from this block if I call up that sound in here. So whenever you look at something or use something in this block in advanced mode, you can implement the controls from that particular block when you're in each one of those things. So really, really powerful tool to be able to use this. And of course, I could store this, do whatever I want, but if it's like, oh, you know what? I got to get back to doing what I do the most, and that's playing the piano. Boom, 1 button touch, and I'm right back to the piano sound. So it's really great because it makes this instrument an incredibly flexible musical tool, and at the same time, you want to get back to pianos, electric pianos, it does that as well. So don't think of it, even though it's a stage piano, it's a stage keyboard. It does a lot of fantastic things, even though it does piano and electric piano really, really great. So we have a lot of other great stuff coming up here in the live stream. Bad Mister's going to be up here in a little bit doing some stuff, talking a little bit more about some technical things. So don't forget, if you have a CP, update your CPE to the latest operating system. You're missing a lot of great stuff if you haven't done it. And please stay tuned in here to our live stream. For more information, please go to YamahaSynth.com. And as always, thanks for tuning in, and keep watching us here at the Winter NAMM show. And thanks for tuning in.